Good evening and welcome back, and thanks for being a part of the program. Glad you could wrap up this week with us here at Your News Today. It is, however, on Friday the 13th, but a little good luck out there weather-wise. A pretty nice day, a little on the cool side compared to where we should be. And keep that thought in mind because you might be in for a little sticker shock tomorrow. Temperatures may not make it out of the 50s for daytime highs, some clouds, and possibly a rainy start to your weekend. We will improve for the latter half of your hopefully days off, but nevertheless, it's still going to be in the cooler side of life. We'll rebound next week, but ever so slowly, still way below normal for much of your forecast. McGoffin County Fiscal Court met in special session yesterday. We'll talk about how they decided to divvy up coal severance funds, going with one of two different options that the judge presented to them, and serious allegations of inappropriate contact via social media between a student at the high school and a teacher, as we understand, at the middle school. Some details we'll be able to share with you at this time in just a few moments, and a few other headlines to pass along as well. We'll begin right now real quickly with coverage of yesterday's special session of the McGoffin County Fiscal Court, where it was some bad news, as was presented by Craig Linden with the state as he brought about the annual rural secondary road aid plan to the county of McGoffin. Up first was Craig Linden of the Rural Secondary Road Program with the state, presenting some bad news to the fiscal court. I don't think it was unexpected news, however. He reiterated that when the budget was enacted on April the 15th, it included several cuts, including the gas tax to the rural and secondary road program. The legislature did, however, he says, put a floor on that tax at one point, which equated to, after the tax finally reached that bottoming out point, about $150 million in losses to the program as a whole.
However, that floor reduced it it went from about 31.2 cents per gallon down to 26.1, and the budget analysts say for every penny that you lose is equivalent to about $29 million. So you can do the math. This rural secondary program is solely funded through the gasoline taxes that we all pay. Nationally, the price of gasoline is cheaper than it was a couple years ago. Unfortunately, there's programs that has to suffer, and this is one of those. Your rural municipal aid funds that you receive from the Department of Local Government this next fiscal year, which begins July 1, will be about 18 to 20% less than the previous fiscal year. And then also in 2017 and 2018, you will probably get about another 10 to 12% cut in that. As I said, these funds are from the gasoline tax, and as of right now in the current fiscal year that we're in, we're approximately $40 million below projected revenue into this fund as we speak now.
Linden says McGoffin County has a little more than 94 miles of rural secondary roads. This year's allotment for their roads, $1.166 million, which is about the same as last year. Of that $1,166,000, about $459,000 will go to maintenance and traffic, which is ditching, snow and ice removal, things of that nature. He said, however, he was experimenting this year with a different type of scenario, pulling a little bit of the funding from maintenance and traffic and then adding it to the project sector, if you will. They'll wait and see how it works this year to see if it's something they continue to do thereafter. The fiscal court received, for their part, a little more than $145,000 for county-maintained roads, that is for existing paved roads only to be resurfaced. And that leaves about $550,000 for the state-maintained roads, for which Linden said there were 3 state recommendations.
Our first one is Kentucky 867, which is Lakeville, Royalton, Gun Creek, Iverton Road, begins to junction 1090 at mile marker 0, and ends at the end of new surface at mile marker 1.9 at an estimated cost of $173,840. Our second recommendation is Kentucky 3337, which is Fritz, Middle Fork, Kentucky 30 Road, and it begins to junction at 378, ends to junction Kentucky 30, a distance of 3.999 miles, at an estimated cost of $399,112. Our third recommendation is Kentucky 1081, which is Harper, Edna, Wanning, Wheelersburg, Elk Creek, Lickburg Road. It's a mouthful. It begins at the junction US 460 at mile marker 4.662 and ends at the junction of 2019 at mile marker 7.343. A distance of 2.681 miles and an estimated cost of $282,470.
Those recommendations were accepted by the fiscal court and total about 8.5 miles and about $850,000 in resurfacing. After that, Judge Hardin outlined the financial woes that the fiscal court is facing in regards to dwindling coal severance funds, suggesting two different routes on how to spend an estimated $510,000 in the money coming back to McGoffin County.
We can either do $511,000 for economic development instead of $675. We can't do it because we don't have the money. That eliminates all of the things I mentioned, all those departments from the funding. And we have we have the rescue squad for $25,000, Rainy Park for $25,000, Sheriff for $25,000, and the others for $12,500. Or if we eliminate them, then we do $511,000 in economic development, nothing for them. If we do them, it's $336,000 for economic development. We desperately need jobs. This may be the last opportunity that some of them have to get the real coal severance money. That's what we ran for. That's what we said the decision we'd make. I don't have any sympathy for us having to make the decision. It's a tough decision. But you all know. And we can't change it. I mean, you can't fund part. You can't go out through there and fund 5 for everybody. You can't fund half for everybody. The way it's in that bill, you either fund, if it says $12,500, you got to fund $12,500. You're not going to fund any of it essentially.
In the end, a unanimous vote to break up coal severance funds, with $336,000 going towards economic development, the other approximate $175,000, I believe, divided up amongst the organizations that you heard Hardin outline. And the last order of business, reading and signing a proclamation recognizing the month of May as Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month.
And whereas cystic fibrosis is an inherited and chronic disease that affects the lungs and digestive system of approximately 30,000 children and adults in the United States, and whereas nearly 1,000 new cases of cystic fibrosis are diagnosed in the United States each year, and whereas several McGoffin County citizens are bravely and successfully battling cystic fibrosis, and whereas advances in the detection and treatment of cystic fibrosis have allowed those afflicted to live long and productive. And now, therefore, I, Charles E. Hardin, Jr., M.D., McGoffin County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim and declare that the month of May, Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month in McGoffin County, a month set aside to recognize those courageous individuals battling cystic fibrosis and to raise awareness and aid research so that one day a cure may be found.
The last thing I just need to make mention of before we close this report, $12,500 to each of the county fire departments was also included in those coal severance funds. I'll be right back. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. We helped the West Liberty Police Department solve a recent case in regards to a theft of some tools that were taken from a bridge construction site on 172 in Morgan County. It was a McGoffin County man that local authorities took into custody after local authorities saw the pictures I ran here on the program. We're hoping we can do it again in regards to these pictures, which West Liberty Police are hoping will find someone out there who knows some information about the suspects in this theft case. The West Liberty Police Department is actually assisting the Morgan County Sheriff's Department with their investigation into the identity of these young men. They say the sheriff wants to interview the individuals in these photographs related to a soda machine break-in and happened at Halsey's Tools and Gifts in Eazell, I believe yesterday morning at 3 a.m. approximately. They asked that if you recognize any of the individuals in the pictures, please call the Sheriff's Department at 743-3613. Pretty decent images of the two individuals and the car. Now, while the release didn't go into any details about the make and model of the vehicle, I am almost certain after some comparison tests that it appears to be a Dodge 200 sedan based on some emblems and other distinguishing characteristics. This one here in particular that we're using for an example is a 2014 model, and it has the similar wheels for that model year roughly. A Chrysler 200 in a silver or light tan color appears to have been the vehicle that was driven in the crimes. A whole lot of people travel Route 23 through the community of Ivell. They're doing so at a slowed pace, at least for now, after at least a portion of the roadway is back open. One of our cameras caught crews cleaning up some of the slides still on the road level. The majority of that gone at this hour, but some still rather precariously hanging on the mountain's side. A large rock that you saw, and we'll see more in detail in just a second as it comes back into view, and some other earth and rock that could potentially slide down that we assume that crews are going to continue to remove. However, Kentucky State Police from Post 9 did send me a release just a few moments ago saying that the southbound lane of US 23 near the rock slide is now open. That's allowing both north and southbound traffic to pass using those southbound lanes. Highway Department crews maintain their presence at the location and are remaining there working to clear all the debris and ensure the roadway is safe to travel. So you can make it through as of now, but you'll need to expect delays in the area. You're encouraged to use caution when traveling this section of 23 until they finalize their efforts. A birthday wish will kick off tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, and it's a birthday wish for Boo Boo. That's Eddie Boo Boo Gibson. With a lot of love from your mom and dad, brother, Tyrell, family, and friends. Happy birthday today to Eddie Boo Boo Gibson. And this is your last reminder, if you're catching the early show, still time to make it, to the kickoff to summer youth concert at the New Generation Church on 460. All youth groups, all youth invited, 7 to 9 tonight. Remember, this Monday, you can eat with the head of Coon Creek United Baptist Church here in Sagersville, and they're even delivering. They've put together a big soup bean dinner, all the sides and fixings you would expect, and cake, and they're doing it for a fundraiser this Monday at the Sagersville IGA. You can pre-order as well by calling 496-9026. It's a Sunday school benefit soup bean dinner at the Sagersville IGA this coming Monday. And if you pre-register that is, between now and next Sunday the 22nd, you get $5 off and a super cool t-shirt for being a part of the 5K Glow Run Walk put together by New Generation Church. They are doing this for their fundraiser for the Gift of Love boxes for Haiti. They're hoping that you'll support their run with a great opportunity to make a difference in a child's life. All proceeds go to buy Christmas boxes for children in Haiti. The run's not until Friday the 10th, but if you pre-order by Sunday the 22nd, you do get the $5 discount and the t-shirt for being a part. Go to ngcfamily.org to register. To get your announcement, birthday, anniversary, or like you just heard on our calendar, tell me. I'll tell everyone about it. All you have to do is drop it in the mail, send it by email, Facebook at Ritter Mortimer, phone, fax, drop it off here at the studio, and we'll tell everybody about it. And catch our show on our website at yournewstoday.com. Our final top headline tonight concerns serious allegations made towards a McGoffin County teacher, allegations of misconduct through social media between a teacher and a juvenile female high school student. These allegations first brought to light, as we had uncovered and then was confirmed by Superintendent of Schools Stanley Holbrook, by a parent of another student. That student and parent not related to the investigation, but that parent which reportedly became aware of the incident that she became concerned enough to apparently take that information to the Superintendent of Schools, Stanley Holbrook.
Tuesday evening, about 2 o'clock, I had a concerned parent come by the office with an allegation of wrongdoings. And as a district, we take these things seriously. We check out all and any wrongdoings. So we started our investigation immediately. It started that evening and carried over until the next morning. And this allegation was on inappropriate messaging from a school employee to a juvenile on social media. And upon finishing up our investigation, I suspended an employee indefinitely without pay, pending the results of the appropriate state agencies and law enforcement doing their due diligence.
Holbrook says that from there, after learning of the situation that was reported to him, there is a standard operating procedure that the school system must follow in regards to reporting to law enforcement or other investigative authorities.
We have 4 agencies that we work with a lot. If it deals with an administrator, it's Office of Educational Accountability, and people call it OEA. If it deals with a teacher, it's usually Educational Professional Standards Board. And then if it deals with a juvenile or a student, young student, we always call the state agency, in which is Child Services. And then if it's a possibility of a law violation, then we call the Kentucky State Police, because they are in charge of all law violations.
So what is the status right now as far as your investigation ongoing or not, and who else is currently investigating?
Okay, we're finished. Everything we've got has been turned over to the Kentucky State Police and Child Services, and they will investigate. And what they do, I don't know, because it's out of our hands now.
While Holbrook says that he can't share any more details or specifics about the case given its sensitive nature, he says this is the first complaint that has reached his office in regards to messaging via social media between a student and a teacher. He says in his tenure, however, he has received several other allegations of inappropriate conduct or contact between staff members, but investigations into those matters turned up no evidence of the like. And when I asked him if this case involved any physical contact between the two, he could only say not to the extent of the law as far as violations are concerned. It's his understanding that a violation of the law would take a sexual act, and that there was no report of such contact in this case. When I asked about training for such a situation, Holbrook said that just recently the entire district and all of its staff members underwent training on how to deal with and how to conduct themselves when using social media, but that this particular subject was not included, as it falls under the code of ethics for each and every teacher and member of the Magoffin County School District.
There wasn't any training on inappropriate behavior, because everybody employed in a school district follows a code of ethics. And during that code of ethics, you're not supposed to do anything that would hurt the safety of a child or be inappropriate toward a child.
In asking Public Affairs Officer Stephen Mounts with Post 9 of the Kentucky State Police about the case, he could only confirm that detectives with Post 9 do have an active case concerning a teacher at the school concerning inappropriate contact with a student. Details about the status of the teacher will be directed to the superintendent of schools, and he says that once their investigation is complete, it will be presented to a Magoffin County grand jury for consideration. We will have an update on that report just as soon as more information is available or we are allowed to release such. With that said, here's your Licking Valley RECC forecast for the weekend. I'm not going to go out on a good note weather-wise, but, hey, it's Kentucky, and you just never know what kind of hand you're going to be dealt weather-wise. I think we'll be dealing with 50 degrees for a nighttime low tonight. Mostly clear skies. Skies are going to be clearing. Winds are going to be calming from 6 miles per hour or so out of the west-northwest to 0. And tomorrow, wow, talk about changes. Scattered showers, mainly before 4, about a 50% chance. We'll see some scattered showers. We will see mostly cloudy skies, and we'll see temperatures struggling to get to the 60-degree mark with a nighttime low of 40. And that means with that 50% chance of showers as well into your Saturday morning with the break in the precipitation, our next focus will be Sunday, whether or not we'll be cold enough to see any frost. It's possible. I'm not looking forward to it, but you'll want to keep an eye on any vegetation that you've got out. I know I will be. We should see 61 at best, I think, maybe, with mostly sunny skies on your Sunday, but 38 degrees will signal the chance at least of the neighborhood of some frost. West wind, it's going to be breezy on your Sunday, 5 to 17 mile per hour gusts, and that will see partly cloudy skies wrap up your Sunday evening when winds finally start to calm down. A look ahead next week, the mid and upper 60s on Monday. We've got the upper 60s on Tuesday, upper 60s on Wednesday. We don't see the 70s and some calm conditions with showers in the forecast the first 3 days of next week until Thursday. So, there you have it. I have no good spin to put on that forecast.
Last announcement before I leave you, I've just been informed that the regular scheduled meeting for the Sagersville City Council, which was set for this coming Monday night, has been canceled. It's been reset for the following Monday night on the 23rd, also at 7 p.m. Thank you for being a part of the program. Stay in, stay warm, do whatever you have to do to get through a rather dismal weekend ahead, at least the first half, and be sure you stay tuned to more of Your News Today next week on Monday for the next edition. For now, thank you for watching and have a good night.